Hi, welcome back from break. In continuation, the self-centered ego in that idea birthed from the emergence of conscience of the self-awareness of humanity in a certain now, historically speaking, not in remembrance of that of your timeline. For many of the timelines you are experiencing now is only a remembrance of several timelines that have collapsed and played out. But the ones you as a species are, let's say, validating, gives you your historical memory of timeline in this collective now. Always on the parallel, the outskirts of the one framework that humanity is working within is the remembrance, reflections of those selves that you all experienced in time. Taking the civilization, taking the conscience of humanity and expanding it to the point of all this realization on this most formidable timeline with what you understand, the Ascension. That self-birthed ego is the complex, once again, that we want you to understand is your ally as well as your enemy. The choice of how you perceive yourself is that of which your reality will be based upon. Now, in your direct understanding of yourself, we will focus on that. We want you to continue to straddle consciousness in such ways that when an occurrence happens of, let's say, unbelievable understanding, realize that the conscious emergence of that of comfort and security will want to know answers. And you will go, usually as you have done, outside of yourself for those answers by any means you have created for yourself as an authority of answers. That of science, mystics, psychics, mediums, channelers, whatever. All of these are tools, overall encompassing tools within the construct of the psyche of humanity, and the only reason they are in play is for one purpose: to expand the framework of conscience of humanity collective. So when you find yourself experiencing things that are beyond measure, that you have no equatable, fathomable understanding of your past understanding of conscience, then the tools that you will seek out are in and of themselves tainted with their own framework. We are giving you the idea that you can continue within yourself as your own authority, expanding your conscience by trusting that of which you are, God. The tools that are needed for, let's say, clarity, understanding, expansion, are in and of themselves wonderful, however overused. Overused is a perpetuation of validity of authorship. Much like your priests of your Catholicism idea, that you would go there for answers. And then when you realize those answers were no longer conducive to this expansion of self, consciously and unconsciously, the collective as a whole has given up a lot of ideas of going over there to find God. And you've recreated an idea of the outside help in the form of the aforementioned ideas. In that now is becoming the paradigm of overused. It is no longer 100% in service as it was years ago. Because that's the only means that your conscience framework could understand on receiving clarity on your, let's say, conscience ideas, dreams, things that you could not equate to anything relevant as you. However, your framework did accept it as reality to experience. But we would ask you as a collective to understand that you can go within in more frequency and understanding if you can let go of the paradigm of an immediate solution, which you were taught of the framework of Action, result, solution, question, action, result, solution, success, failure, all of that. So if you can let go of the how and when idea on the must occurrence acceptable to your comfort level of that answer, and then trust yourself that you are the answer, for any answer is a question in a different conscious state. So that question in this conscious state lies, an answer, begs, equates, gives off an answer in the next conscious available state. Otherwise the question would not be there, nor the experience in companionship. So everything is relatively tied together in relationship of understanding of the expansion of self. Again, the self of humanity, not the self of you. For your higher self is giving you this, and your higher self is all that is. So where you view yourself, because now you have given yourself the construct that you are allowed to view yourself from different aspects of yourself, then you can find equatable answers and solutions within other aspects of yourself that are viewing. So take this understanding as a next pinnacle of expansion of the framework you are operating within, and take this as a valid trust to at least entertain, so you can once again push the envelope of your current sandbox, as Ocyphius would say. Your sandbox does not truly have edges. You can, let's say, make them invisible. Wherever you are, there is always a sandbox, but realize the sandbox never ends. It is always around you as you are moving. And where you move your conscious physical idea of yourself is the availability of other selves, of other ideas, of other entities in that fashion, vibrations, giving you their own individual aspect of all that is. In this case, me. Roxanne, in that fashion, has expanded her sandbox, moved it, if you will, to allow me to become this reality for her. This is no concern of hers on how it will be in that idea projected or accepted in public scrutiny. For that idea is now a perpetuating trust of no longer valid. That in and of itself expands her own sandbox, because that is what the acceptable timeline as well as the acceptable framework she has given herself as a tool to expand upon. Each of you have fathomable fears of expansion that are beckoning you to explore. Why do you have negativity in your reality is simply because you have tested your own boundaries. And that negativity idea is for it to see in its simplicity that it is a misconception of all that is. And until you validate that with yourself and not relying once again on the perpetuating reality of God is outside of you, God is within that or within that, and realize the inward solution has always been there, and that answer is within the Godhood that you are, that of you are. Godhood. Experience that. Instead of experiencing a fabricated idea of going outside, because the quality of that action in and of itself is going to be meaningless as it was before. In other words, you're bored. It's the same old song and dance. It's no longer giving you the epic feeling of validity of that. And then when you dwell within the framework that you have created by going inside as an available tool within the framework, that will give you the passion and desire to continue in that inner reality that is, let's say, limitless. And in there are always comfortable, let's say, ideas for acceptance. Because the higher self-conscious is always allowing more in that you are aware of just because of the current construct you have perceived yourself as. And as you are dabbling within the infinite number of universes that are available to you, you will find a resonation of that desire, passion to pursue, and take you and adapt that as you in this now, and expand this now, as well as the conscious understanding of humanity. So all this idea of messaging is only one purpose. One. Expansion of yourself. That is it. You are here to expand your conscience. You are more than halfway home, most certainly, of the abilities that, let's say, humankind has in its fathomable future of becoming aware of the fullness of the species that is before you. That conscious awareness. You are more than halfway there. But in continuation of this expansion of the complete circle that humanity will encompass as itself, as a collective, will be realized only upon the idea of you validating conscience as you and anything other than unconditional love, conscious creation thought, then the expansion will occur. Anything other will stave it off in a linear fashion of acceptance of that overall encompassing idea, and attaching to it takes you vertically up instead of sustaining the linear idea of time. In and out of time is now once again, as we have stated, an ally. Because time is a malleable idea, slippery, if you will. And playing within time just by consciously straddling your consciousness, echo channeling your other selves, and being in that timeline, giving you the understanding of, I am more than I am. Then, of course, the byproduct is your own framework expanding, even you may not know about it. The passion that you desire to understand. So play with this idea in your continuation and allow those who are not playing in the game of Ascension to play out their reality, because that shows them themselves that when they play it and you are reflecting, that is a misconception upon their reality, and they will have the opportunity to expand their framework. Anything other than that is going to sustain that. The key word here is allow. Anything other than that is going to sustain that once again. So love yourselves in that fashion to expand the conscience, and that will only give the heartbeat of your love out to those in your vibrational sense of reality, physicality, telepathy, and overall encompassing collective humanity, let's say, wholeness, and we'll do that. So in allowance of those to play out the reality, know that there is no safety or protection needed of your own idea. For you are only love, and you will not give yourself the experiencing other than that, because you are done with that idea. It is no longer validated within your framework of needing protection or going out and venturing into the 3D idea or be in that vibrational circumference of that paradigm playing out. You do not need safety and protection. Those were all modalities to get you to where, thank you, you are in this now of all that is unconditional love. Nothing can penetrate in that idea me anymore. That's done. The framework is beyond that. But only fear will perpetuate that, once again validating fear as you to expand upon yourself, and no longer needing to validating fear, only expanding your own framework of the view of yourself. So in the times that are going to be perceived in the next months of your disclosure ideas, with the, let's say, cabal in that fashion, so limiting, way beyond that, but we'll give you that as a reference point, and their, let's say, enslavement ideas giving you the choice of expansions of conscience, serving a purpose, nothing other than that, then those ideologies will play out and they will have a vibration, and it is not you in the mirror, trust that. Vibration of negativity, and now you have the ability to be in servership by being yourself in observership so you can see the healing begin. Only validating your own truth of that of the Creator in you, perpetuating a new foundation of trust to stand upon and continuing to expand your universe for all that. For that is all that there is, you. The co-creation is a byproduct. Don't validate the concern for the outside, anything other than a reflection of yourself, and it no longer needed if it does not, let's say, slight you, as Ocyphius likes to say. So take this now epic moment of understanding that you have allowed yourself to expand and dwell within this new framework of availability to you because you've accepted a belief system that was beyond comprehension only a few years ago and expand upon that. You are, let's say, ascending the civilization, the species of humanity. Excellent work. So allow and continue your universe within. Shift your focus within in more, let's say, rhythmic fashion. The repetition should be immediate, go inside instead of looking outside if there is a concern or a problem that you have perceived, or even a good idea of a reality to live because it looks exciting. Go inside as your first point of action. And then share the experiences with one that are synchronistically in your vibration, for that download is ready for you because you set up that moment in a synchronistic moment way back then. This is all we have for this now. I will return you to Ocyphius. Thank you once again, Seth. Most epic, as we like to say. Booyah. Time, Rita.
17.
In the idea of echo channeling, we want you to understand once again, if you are in a chamber, that is a formidable, I guess, idea of a visual that we have put out telepathically among the collective. A round chamber, and view it how you will, with just a, let's say, electrode ball, something that you can place your hand upon, and then you automatically tune into all of the vibrational echoes that are bouncing around within the chamber, and your free will choice to tune in on any of those. Most of you will start with the idea of yourselves and probable selves, and also your past and future selves. And you will play and dabble within that to bring those other, i.e. frameworks within the encompassing framework you are now. And in that, then you will experience those ideas, reflecting back and forth, and attaching those to you wish to play with, and negating the ones that no longer serve you, or that are too unbelievable to fathom in the fashion until that expansion now is available. So, play in the game in the echo chamber, and realize that you are trusting the echo chamber idea and reflecting back to you all of your probable selves, and go and play within the sandbox of that self while you are straddling all the nows within the touching of that idea ball. This is all we have for now. Our eternal gratitude and eternal love for this co-creation of another epic moment of ascension of humanity. You are the best. Booyah, as we like to say. Eternal love, I bid you a good day, Adonai. Good stuff. Thank you, Ocyphius. Thank you, Seth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All of a sudden I said thank you instead of thank you. My tea couldn't work. I broke my tea. All right, guys, we'll get this up today. I love you so much. Thanks again for tuning in. Bye-bye.